Breaking news, the New York Stock Exchange has officially crashed. Over 16 million shares were traded today, beating out the 12 million shares traded last Thursday, with stocks being sold at all-time lows. Crowds are forming outside of the New York Stock Exchange, and many are seeming desperate and hopeless. Let's meet George Anderson on the scene.
It's been very chaotic around here. The crowd started to form early this morning, and since the bell rang in the opening trade session, it's been pandemonium. People trying to sell their stocks, have been fighting and trampling each other. Excuse me, could you introduce yourself, sir?
Sure. My name is Joe Patterson.
What are you doing here today, Joe?
I came to buy a few stocks, but you see, the prices just collapsed, and I was, trying to bail, and I lost like more than 50% of everything I've owned, and I don't think I can go face my family again. I'm gonna have to live on the streets.
I'll wish you and your family the best, man.
All right. Well,
Back
thank
to
you,
Barbara.
Thanks, George. Looking at the stats, the stock market has lost almost $14 billion in value today, and it's not looking like it's going to make a recovery anytime soon. Last week, Thursday the 24th, we reported on crowds forming in front of the New York Stock Exchange due to delays in communications regarding the volume of exchanges. The police were called to manage the crowds, but the issues were able to be sorted out over the weekend. Yesterday, again, a large number of shares were traded, but nothing like today. People are even starting to call today, October 29th, 1929, Black Tuesday. While this is certainly a fitting name, we need to keep a close eye out for future conflicts that may occur in response. After a word from our sponsors, we will be hearing from Professor Butterfield of Harvard University School of Economics, so stay tuned.
It would be a snap with Scotch tape, an innovative new product from 3M Corporation, a good way to stretch your dollars.
And we're back with Professor Butterfield, live from Massachusetts. Professor, how should we, as Americans, be looking at this situation?
Well, to put this market crash into perspective, last spring, the record high trade volume was around 3.8 million shares per day, whereas today, 16 million shares were sold in a single day. That's about 4 times as much trade activity, signifying that people are rushing to sell their shares as the value of stock drastically reduced. Also, in just one day, today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average plummeted almost 12%. So the scale of this thing is huge. And now we're all wondering how long the market will be staying at these levels. Personally, I believe this will affect us for quite some time. I mean, just looking at the numbers, we've never seen anything like them.
They are certainly terrifying numbers, Professor. So, what can we anticipate for the future?
Things are not looking good for us now. I don't know how long these smaller companies are going to be able to hold out under these circumstances. Jobs will probably be less secure, and I'd be careful about money in the banks. Only time will tell.
Well, thank you for your time, Professor. Next up, we'll be taking another short break, and then we'll be back. Barbara Finley, APW News, New York. Good afternoon, and welcome to APW Sports. It's Sunday, September 4th, 1932, and the food races are about to start. Today, we are welcoming athletes from all over the nation. Lester Shaw from Maine, Billy Click from Oregon, and Raphael Goodwin from Tennessee, just to name a few. In hard times like these, when the food is so scarce, it's no wonder food has become our main reason to compete. In today's race, competitors will be racing for the first spot in a free food distribution line, sponsored by an anonymous donor. It's really nice to see the community coming together, even when times are so desperate. It looks like the race is about to start. First up is Lester Shaw and Billy Click. The competitors are at their mark, and they're off. Lester starting out strong. Billy is thrown off course. He regains speed still behind Lester. Turning the final corner, and Lester wins by a split second. That was some intense competition there. Some controversial actions from Leicester, but nothing against the rulebooks, and it certainly heats up the race. Leicester won the first round, but both competitors will receive $10 in food stamps. Stay tuned for the next rounds.
The state in which our country lies is in that of great disrepair. Job shortages and an impending food crisis are issues which our country faces. But with Franklin Delano Roosevelt at the helm, we can uplift the weak, the poor, and the undeserved, and rebound our great nation back into prosperity.
Good evening. It's Sunday, September 4th, 1932. These days, although it's not affecting the East Coast as much anymore, like it did back in 1930, the drought continues to devastate the Great Plains region. Intense heat and severe weather shortages affect crops and provide dangerous living conditions. Small dust storms are beginning to threaten the stability of crops. This year, around 10 have been reported from the Great Plains. Farmers should be on the lookout for further weather changes and shelter their livestock as necessary. In a dust storm, strong winds pick up exposed topsoil, harming crops and their access to nutrients. Some dust storms can reach speeds of 100 miles per hour and go on for miles. A small dust storm hit Nebraska last Friday. Here's Jack Hayes in the action.
As you can see, the wind is really strong. This particular dust storm is actually not that severe, seeing that the visibility level is still pretty high. Some dust storms darken the sky so much that it looks like it's nighttime. Looking over here, you see that the crops are getting pretty battered. We hope they can make it through. AP World News, Nebraska, Jack Hayes signing off.